Ain't nothing wild. Okay. Did it take? Come on. It took. Okay. All right, y'all, let's go. Yeah. All right, we're doing NYCHA. Giving you a chance to get into your rooms, start your watch parties. We got a big show today. Big show. Big show today. Right? All right. I see y'all coming in the room. I see one. All right. You on Stan Morse page? Did a show for you, son? Andrea? She got it. Your friend? Yeah, we're still muted. You're friends with him, right? I mean, this is the page right here. Got it? No, you good. Yeah, you good. You can move a little bit over to the right. Yeah, we looking good. Yeah, NYCHA, we come on 4:30. We running a little tad late. But it happens. It's called production, y'all. All right, so we rolling. I'm gonna crack the mics for him. Stan Morse, you in?
I'm in the house.
Yes, sir. SugaRay, you in?
Yo, what's good?
Yeah. So Andrea Coleman, you in?
I'm here.
Okay. So it sounds like we're all set up. People starting to sign into the room. And 1, 2, 3, and boom. We here, y'all. NYCHA. Oh man, week 3. Hold on, let me use a light. Hold on, let me get that. There you go.
Hey,
Wow.
Yes.
we lit for real.
We lit. Now we lit, baby. You know what I'm saying? So we want to welcome you again to NYCHA TV. I'm one of your hosts, Rock Logic, and on the other side of the desk, I got my man,
Stan Morse.
Yes, sir. Stan, tell him who you is, man.
My name again is Stan Morse.
Yeah.
I am from Justice for All Coalition. I'm an organizer, born and raised in Lafayette Gardens. So I'm a NYCHA resident or a former NYCHA resident, and we're here to talk about the issues.
Cool. And then next to you have, please introduce yourself.
SugaRay, peace.
First of all, I love this guy's name. SugaRay, that's come on, man. That's
SugaRay,
That's it.
Robinson.
You know what I'm saying?
More
That's
like
the joint
Robinson
right
than
there.
Lynch.
That's
SugaRay in the
joint.
house.
So, SugaRay, tell us what's happening. Tell us about
man.
yourself real quick.
I mean, just 36-year-old dad, man. Brother just striving to make progress in our communities. Born in South Jamaica, Queens, raised in Queensbridge. And I'm just, again, a brother for fighting for freedom.
Word up. And then also, last but not least, in the slightest, the biggest celebrity in the room, Saundrea Coleman. What's up, Saundrea? Come on.
Hey, y'all.
She got her vote mask
How
on.
y'all doing?
What's up with that vote mask?
I'm trying to keep people motivated, what they got to do. Hi, everyone. I'm a co-host of NYCHA.
Beautiful.
So it's good to be here. I'm also a co-founder of the Holmes Isaacs Coalition. I'm an activist, organizer, and also I'm on my community board. Don't ask me which one, but I am on a community board. I'm busy.
Yeah, she's busy. So, Stan, back to you. Today's show, today's topic, what are we talking about? What's going on? Go.
All right, what I want to do today is we have a very dynamic young leader from Queensbridge, dynamic organizer, doing a lot of tremendous work. For us, for the Justice for All Coalition, our whole goal was trying to reach out to the youth. And it was always a challenge to get more young people to get involved in this movement. You know, so hooking up with Brother SugaRay is like an entree to the youth, because he speaks for the youth. He speaks their language, you know, so we're very excited to have him here on the show, to give him a platform to talk about all the amazing things he's doing. Last week we talked about going to attend his house. It was actually SugaRay's mother's house.
Okay.
So we told that story. So SugaRay can tell you more about that and kind of give us an update on what happened with his mom's apartment. He's also led marches. He's done a lot.
Now, was that the apartment that we had the pictures of? That went up
No, it wasn't
online?
that one. That was the one
Okay.
where we marched down to the management office,
yeah.
where the sink was outside the bathroom for a while, and
Right.
the whole story. And SugaRay brought myself and Lauren Ashcraft and Jocelyn Taylor. He brought all of us together.
Gotcha.
And so we got there, we saw it, and the move was to go march down. And again, he led this march and helped us to make that move. And some of the work got done. So you could definitely give us an update on exactly what happened and keep it going.
Well, you know what? Take it away, SugaRay.
Well,
Let's go.
When I listened to the show that y'all did, you had made a mistake. You said the bathroom was like that for months.
Okay.
The bathroom was leaking and jacked up for 3 years. Maybe longer than that. My daughter is 3. She was born 2016.
Talking to the mic for sure.
My daughter is 3. She was born in 2016. And I remember my ex-wife being pregnant and us having the same issue in my mom's bathroom, of the bathroom leaking, of the the sink constantly overflowing, and the bathroom leaking like the ceiling above the toilet. So when you're on the toilet and the sink, the water leaks from upstairs, it's coming from the toilet water.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Filthy. And we made tons of complaints, and nothing got done.
Yeah.
They would come, they would look, and they would be like, "Oh wow, this is a big job."
I just want to give a big shout out to Cynthia Tibbs. She's in the room again. She said, "What's up, Cynthia? I'm gonna give you the beat, Cynthia."
Hey, girl.
There you go. What's up, Cynthia? I see you. I want to make sure to let y'all know that she was in the room. Continue, SugaRay. Let's go.
No, but Stan and Joycelyn Taylor, who's running for mayor, and Lauren Ashcraft, who was running for Congress, and Mary Jo Biden, who was running for Assembly, they came down, and we went right down to management, as Stan said, and addressed the issue. And since then, a couple of weeks, the bathroom has been done. They actually painted the whole apartment. They did the back room that we didn't even really complain about.
Okay.
But they went overboard, and now they come in tomorrow to retile all of the floors.
Oh, so they're getting the work
They're
done.
getting the work done. And as I've been saying to people, like, that's what you have to do. You have to, like, when we went into management, it was like, why is this tenant's, right, my mom, but Stan spoke, why is this tenant's apartment like this? And we're not leaving until something gets done.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
and
It
I
had
think
to
that's
be like that.
I think that's the energy that we got to take in all of our housing developments. Like, we're not moving, we're not leaving this office. No one else is going to get help until these tenants, whether it's 5 that we do every week or 6 or whatever the number is. And I think it'll be more impactful if we organize it in Queensbridge, we organize it in your neighborhood, we organize
Absolutely.
it in as many hoods across the city in NYCHA, and go at the same time on a Friday.
Right.
Like,
right,
that would shake
right.
the city.
That would shake the city. I
Right.
like that
So
idea.
I think that's the type of move. We got to be organized. We got to be in unison. We got to make the same exact move at the same exact time to really light a fire under their ass.
Yeah, you see, when you put that into action like that, that's really a big deal, because now you're not just talking. You understand what I'm saying? I like that.
And so the word I like to use is demonstrate. That's demonstrating is different than protesting. Protesting is saying, "Yo, fix our apartments. We got problems in our apartments. We're not paying rent." That's cool. It works. That serves a purpose. But demonstrating is saying, we standing here. We're not moving until something happens.
I like that.
That's a difference, and we need to demonstrate more
Right.
of what we want, what we demand, and the consequence if we don't get it, what's going to happen.
You know what I like about what you're saying? Because I was in a conversation last night. I was at a barbecue, right? And one of the craziest things that's happened in this, with all this protesting that's going on, finally politicians came to the table and they said, "Okay, what do you want?" And it was a blank. Everyone was like,
Yep.
okay, you're protesting. What do you want? And they couldn't really say what they wanted. In this situation, you're saying exactly what we want.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You're going, look, this is what we want. It's not a question.
Yep.
There's no doubt. We ain't moving until this thing goes down.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And Stan, me and you have been talking about it for a couple of weeks, is a lot of times when we are striving to destroy something, it's literally like people like destroying, so people come along just to destroy, but they have no intention of what to replace it with.
Right,
So we destroy the
right.
system, we destroy all of the institutions that have built America and have propagated white supremacy and racism. Once we destroy them, then what? We need new schools, we need new hospitals, we need
Sure.
stuff that is people-powered and people-centered. So I know, and many of us do know exactly what we want. The problem is a lot of these media outlets and a lot of these elected officials, they go to people who they know don't have a clue what they want just to sound good, just to complain, just say, "Oh, well, we listen to the people's issues."
Right.
But if there's no solution, then you didn't do anything about it. You listened, you went back, you talked about it, and that was it. Until the next time someone complained.
That's where organizing comes into play.
Absolutely.
As you get organized, you get your people, you have your demands, you have your talking points. You keep talking about the same thing,
Yep.
till it's embedded that every time you put it out, it makes sense.
Yep.
And you know what you want. So when you have your demands ready, that's all it's about. A lot of people are out there with walking and marching just to be doing it, or just for photo ops and stuff like that. But you got to have your demand. You got to be ready when they say, come have a seat with me at the table.
Absolutely.
And be ready for it. So,
Correct.
yeah, definitely.
What's up, Bonnie Lynn? Bonnie Lynn, is that Bonnie Lynn Simones?
Yes, no, Violin Simmons.
Simmons? It's Sermon?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I went to college with Bonnie.
Oh, wow.
She did a great Juneteenth event on that day.
Okay.
So I'm going to give a big shout out to Bonnie. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay.
A Lafayette College person. Yes, thank you.
Bet. Yeah,
As well as Kofi. I tell you, we also went to college together. I see Kofi in the room.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Big shout out, yo. I gotta give him a hand.
I said.
Cool. Last night at the barbecue, I realized that people didn't even know what they wanted, what they needed. And I had to really start the conversation. And I started the conversation, and I said to him, listen, what we need is, number one, we need to have economic empowerment classes in the schools. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now, no bust, and I'm not, because I had a rough week on Facebook. I said some stuff that apparently people were offended by, but fuck it. But anyway, all right, listen, I'm going to say what I got to say.
That's what the show's about.
I speak the truth.
That's
right?
what we're here to do.
So the truth is, we need economic empowerment classes from the time the kids hit junior high school, at the very least, so that we understand what credit is, so that we understand how to balance a checkbook from childhood, because that's what the Jews do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The Jews do that. They give the kid the credit card, right? They give them the credit card, and they're 10 years old, and they got to teach them, and they teach them how to use the credit card and what the value of credit is. Because I didn't know the value of credit. When I got a credit card when I was 18 in like 84, dude, that was free money.
Absolutely.
I was like, yo, and I brought everything I wanted. I did what I wanted. Didn't care about no credit score, didn't care about a credit rating, didn't know I needed it to buy a house and really live, until when I went to go get a car. And they're like, well, what's your credit score? And I was like, what's the credit score?
Wow.
Absolutely.
What's that, right? And then I was in the toilet. I didn't pay American Express back. Like, I bugged out, but I didn't know. So one of the things that I said is that we need to have that.
Yeah.
And within the context of the school, and there's a thing book, OSG, Off School Grounds. They're actually working on this actual concept. They're actually opening a business in the school.
Okay.
A Subway sandwich shop that the kids can manage. Now,
where's this happening?
This is happening out in Jersey. They're starting to do that. And so the kids can run a business, right? So why couldn't we bring something like that into the centers, right? Into the NYCHA centers, where we're showing our kids, listen, this is a business. This is how you run a business. When you see these other schools, they have these programs where the kids are running a business.
Absolutely.
And it's a mock business, right? Go ahead.
No, absolutely. There's a sister in Queensbridge, Andrea Robinson. She has a organization, Reading for Smiles, and she does like data analysts for schools. But she had her first, second, third graders. She does a youth business expo every year, and she had these young people creating business plans. I remember maybe 2-3 years ago, the first year she did it, I think it was an 8-year-old girl who created a website, an app, and everything. And it's like, because she gave them the agency and the empowerment and teaching them how to do it and why it's important. But what happens, I think, is 2 reasons why we don't do that. One, as a parent myself and someone who had parents, I think a lot of us in our community, we are stuck on raising children, forgetting that we're raising adults. We're raising children to become adults.
Correct.
Right? So we want to raise children and baby our children until they're of age and then expect them to be grown.
Right.
It's like, whoa, where in other cultures, they know from birth that at 10, at 13, you're going to be an adult. And so from 3, the moment you could talk and speak and read, we are preparing you for that.
Correct.
Where we don't. Let the child have fun. And it's like, no. Work now, fun later. Because when you have fun now, you work your rest of your life trying to recuperate, and you never get it. So that people die poor. But if you work now, from young, as early as you can talk and read, if you teach from then, and you work, by the time you are 25, if you are in a certain field, you can be set for life.
Yeah.
And then you can have, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
No,
Sandra,
I want to speak to that too. I grew up in McKinley houses, so shout out McKinley's. And, my mom and dad was there, and we had allowance. Let's go back to, you want to talk about teaching and funds for youth. We had allowance. And my brother and I was 12, he might be a little over, we opened our bank accounts with $200 a piece. And that's when the passbooks, I'm going back to passbooks.
Right,
Sure,
that's
okay.
right.
Sure.
I remember that.
And but it taught us. So we lived off our allowance. And if we needed other things, we asked our parents, but we learned to manage money there. Now with one of my sons, the youngest one, his school, before they were doing banking there with the kids. They was telling them bring their money, and they were doing it. Back then it was Commerce, now it's TD Bank, but they had a contract with them, and they were opening accounts. But I had already had him account. But we have to do these things for our kids.
Absolutely.
And teach them, how to manage. My son had a checking account. Wasn't even writing checks,
Sure.
but he was able to use the card and do stuff, and he still does, and he still has that checking account till today.
Nice.
So, but
Nice.
we have to, do this as parents. In the school, yes, it's great, the economics and so forth. We had economics. I don't know what they're teaching our kids now.
And I was about to say that.
Right, and that's the difference.
And
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
other
they're not
problem.
teaching them that. I can tell you, my son just graduated, and I know throughout all his high school, they're not learning anything about financial literacy at
Right.
all.
At all.
Right.
And
Financial literacy,
They're
that's
not
the
doing that
word.
at all, and it's not happening
Literate
within
around
our
finances.
communities.
Yeah.
and
You
the
can't
other part is
read.
that
Right.
the other part with that, the systemic part, right, is the agencies, organizations, they come to our community understanding that, so what they want to break poverty by offering job development, right, or
Right.
workforce development, and that's furthering the poverty line. Like, that's keeping people and no matter what the positions are, if you're not teaching ownership, you're not teaching wealth management, wealth building and management,
Correct.
then you are keeping the same cycle going. You're just dressing it up in different names, and so
Yeah,
that's
keep-
why we got to call. I think
Teaching me to be a worker.
exactly. And I think you said on the last show something that the elders say: tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yeah,
Right? Let's
that's
tell the
right.
truth that these people are content on our people being stuck in poverty, so they do not want to teach us how to run businesses. They do not want to teach us finances, economics, how to do banks. They don't want to do it. So it's our job
That's
as
right.
parents and as community leaders, right,
There you
to
go.
facilitate those things for
That's right.
ourselves and our own children, whether we do it in our apartments, whether we do it outside on the streets. We
Right.
got to teach it in any space that is there.
And I just want to add to that, especially for those who came out of NYCHA and have moved on and become bankers and lawyers and doctors. We need more people that have come from that environment to come back and
mentor.
show the
Mentor.
others behind how they did that, so we can have some upward mobility in NYCHA. But I find that in many cases that does not happen, not enough as it should.
And you know what the problem with that is that people have to understand the first time you do it, it ain't gonna be easy.
Yep.
That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? People might not necessarily be receptive to it, whatever's happening. But if you keep doing it, persistence overcomes resistance.
100%.
If you keep doing it, then guess what? We start going, oh, that's what that's about? Okay, dope. So don't get discouraged if the first time you did it, it didn't really work out.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But I got to say something real quick,
Yes.
just to address what's on the screen. You can email us at onenightchatv@gmail.com. If you have any complaints, we're doing a whole show, right? And we're talking about different things. And One Night is about economic empowerment. But I also want to let people know that you can call in and join the conversation.
Yeah.
Be live on the air. You can call in. What's the number? It is 908-242-6234. That's 908-242-6234. You can call in. And if you have any complaints about what's going on in
Absolutely.
your apartment right now, please join the show.
Yeah.
Please join the show. We had a really great show last week where people were actually voicing their complaints live on the air and sent letters in, and we started
Right.
getting emails. So I just wanted to keep the
And
spirit
can
of the
I-
show in that.
Can
Yes.
I add to that?
Saundrea
And if
Coleman.
anybody is interested in being on the show, either physically or remotely, email us. We'll book you and have you on the show.
Absolutely.
100%. Back to you, Stan.
So I want to ask again, SugaRay. I know
Yes,
you
sir.
led. We had a march. That we about
demonstration.
maybe a demonstration. He hates the
Be
word
very
march.
clear.
Okay, so we had tell folks a little bit of about that, and also how I guess the racial makeup of NYCHA relates to the Black Lives Matter movement and institutional racism. How do you see all that kind of combining? 'Cause I know you spoke about those issues during your talk.
Repeat the question.
Okay, so I'm face. So I know we having a lot of movements and demonstrations and people out in the street. How do we relate to the struggle in NYCHA? How does the struggle in NYCHA relate to that? How does it intersect? How do we make that big movement in NYCHA similar to what's happening in the whole Black Lives movement? How do we get more people involved? How do these issues relate? How do you feel they relate?
I mean, everything is relative. Right? Everything is related. It's all result of white supremacy, right? Of structural racism. Whether it's housing, whether it's the police terrorism, and a lot of times we focus on police brutality, right? When they are violent. Police terrorism is what propagates police brutality, because if you're not in our communities with guns while we're peaceful, you will never get an opportunity to brutalize us. So we have to speak about the terrorism first.
Okay.
When you're there with guns in a community while children are playing basketball. Like, and we teach children a person with a gun is bad, and then they see these cops with guns. What is that? That's traumatic, right? So we have to talk about the terrorism first. So police terrorism, inhumane living conditions, the poverty, the community violence, the alcoholism, the over sexualization of our bodies, period, right? The materialistic mindset that we have, all of it is a propagation and a result of white supremacy. There's a term that we have. We speak about like crabs in the barrel, right? People say, "Oh, black people, crabs in the barrel." And I listen and I get it, and I've analyzed it for a very long time. And then a couple of years ago, we said, wait, crabs don't even belong in the barrel. So if you take the crabs out of the barrel and put them in their natural environment, their natural habitat, they would not try to pull each other down. Same for us black people. We don't belong in all of this concrete. We don't belong living in a place with all these tall buildings that is blocking the sun. We belong in open space, and I guarantee you, which is why you have young people who are violent or who are quote unquote bad, and when you take them out to the family house in the country, they're good.
Right.
Open air. Simple solutions, right?
Environmental slavery.
Powerful. And so even when now,
I'm loving this conversation.
That's my thing,
Absolutely.
because these people in our community, we talk about, and I had to block this dude from my hood, from my Facebook page, because I'm talking about the issues we do in addressing the police terrorism and brutality. He's talking about, oh yeah, well you need to address black on black crime because of this and the abortions. And I listen to him and I say, well, number one, black, you don't hear turn white on white crime.
Exactly.
Separately, completely separate from the ignorance, is if you took all of the black people killed by other black people for the last 100 years, it would never amount to the amount of black people who've gotten cancer, who've got heart disease, diabetes from the environment, from the food, from the pollutants, high blood pressure from everything that's been propagated by the European. And so if I go out there and kill a whole community, it will not be more than what they have done to us. And even understanding that the fact that we are killing each other is a result of them. We are stressed. We are living in stressful environments. People are poor. People are unemployed. People are unhealthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. People have no connection to self, no connection. If you don't have no connection to love for yourself, you cannot connect and have love for anyone else genuinely.
Absolutely.
So those are the problems. So once we solve those problems, and I believe once we get independent and separate from these European-driven, based institutions, we will naturally come back to a place of peace, because we are a peaceful, loving, beautiful people.
It's called close proximity crimes.
Ashe.
And that happens in any neighborhood. Asians on Asians,
Yep.
blacks
Right.
on blacks, white on whites. But the only narrative you hear is black on black crime. That's crap. So at
We
the end
will
of the day, if
naturally
you understand
come back to a
it,
place of peace. 'Cause we are
if you understand it, then you know what it is. So, and that's one of the problems. And we have to change the narrative. You can't let people talk about your people or you, and you know what you're going through and you know what you live in. So we have to push the education out and change the narrative, because that's crap.
I want to share. I forgot who actually wrote the article, but they said it's not really what's wrong with us, meaning black kids, and they always have these articles. Black children are lagging behind. Black kids are doing this. Black kids are doing that. It's always pointed out like the issue's us. No, what's the issues? These white kids. Because these white kids are going up to be the ones who are murdering us as cops.
Yep.
These white kids are going up being racist. You need to focus on teaching these white kids, how to become better people. Because that's the problem. That's the root cause of all this. It's not what's wrong with us. Why are they like that? That becomes the question. Why are they treating people like that? Why are they not raised better to understand and be more loving to other people?
Right.
The problem really rests with them. It's not so much what's wrong with black kids. It's what's wrong with them.
Nothing's going to happen to me.
Right.
In their
Facts.
mindset. You go into Emmanuel into that church and you kill 9 people and
Right.
you get taken to Burger King.
Right.
If that would have been a black man, come on.
Right.
He wouldn't have even lived.
Right.
And he definitely wouldn't have got taken to Burger King to have something to eat.
Absolutely.
So, you have to look at the logistics of everything. And if you want to talk about the police department, you have to go back to the slave patrol.
Yep.
Okay?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But Stan, I wanna build on the point you made about teaching them
I'm just gonna do one thing. Hold that
yes,
thought, because
sir.
you're not as old as we are, so you hold your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
We do it. We forget. We be like, we get all rattled. I want to give a shout out. ESP is in the building. She's like the young knight. There is dropping the knowledge. She's hard on that. She's up there, right? She says, "Good day, everybody." ESP is there. Obviously, we see Cynthia Tibbs in the building. Bonnie, and you know what? Put it up on the message board. If I see you, I'll shout it out. If you have a comment you want to make, we will address the comment live on the air.
And you can also call in and join our show. So if you have something you want to add or you want to speak, please call us.
Cool. Back to you, SugaRay.
I lost my thought.
You said you wanted to build on what I was saying. You wanted to take the point I was making
ESP's
and
like,
build on that.
Teaching white kids.
Right.
We got to understand that this is not an issue of morality. You cannot appease to these people. Understand that, and I said it when we did our demonstration. I love cats. You take a lion, a tiger, a jaguar, a panther, a cheetah. They're all cat family, but they don't fuck with each other because they understand that we are inherently different. And together too long, there's going to be conflict. We as African people are so loving that we forget that these people are inherently different than us. Even if a person is Christian and you look at the Christian Bible, there are actually 2 creation stories in Genesis, back to back, right? It's brief, it's deep. I'm not going to
speak. We gotta.
But we are inherently different. You know, Africans and Europeans. There is humanity, and there is mankind, and we have to not be afraid to share these truths, right? And to share these wisdoms that we are inherently different. And so, if we live together too long, some people the sun harms some people, so they want to build tall buildings to block it. The sun gives us life. We need it, so we live in the same community, and they are quote unquote have the money, the resource. They're going to build the tall buildings, and then we are going to become depressed and suppressed because we're not going to have the sunlight to keep
sunlight,
us. We need sunlight.
Absolutely.
The sun gives life,
100%.
right?
And vitamin D.
We need it.
I would like to address that police issue that we were talking about.
Yes, sir.
Because one of the things that I've been saying is when it comes to the police, we need to improve the training, right? And when I say that, I mean you shouldn't be able to come out of high school and you went to an all-white high school and become a police officer and you were never around any black people. You know what I'm saying? These are the ones that come from Long Island, right? Now they come in, they don't understand us, we don't understand them, and they scared.
Scared to death.
They scared, so they overreact in situations. Versus if you say, you know what, in order for you to become a police officer, I want you to have 2 years of college. Now what does that do? Easy breezy. It incorporates you with other people because once you go to college, now there's blacks, there's Chinese, there's whites, and you're starting to get acclimated with other cultures.
Absolutely.
Right? Then after that, if you want to be a cop, you need to be trained 1.5 years to 2 years for you to be a police officer. That would breed a better type of police officer. You know what I'm saying? One that would have more understanding and intelligence. But we have this system now where we give guns to fools.
Basically.
Dude had a D average in high school or a GED. You gave him a gun, and now you're mad because of the result? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He should have never had a gun in the first place because he wasn't smart enough to have one. You know what I'm saying? So we need to really change that.
Oh, definitely.
Training,
and,
you know?
And deeper than that, something I mentioned at the demonstration, I said, or coupled with that, in addition to that, is do a background check, meaning that go back as far as possible. If you're a white guy, what was your relationship like with black children in first grade? Did a black kid punch you in your face in first grade and you held that?
Right.
Because there was people, I had an incident in third grade. Look, I had an incident in third grade at 8 years old with a black guy. And when I was 19 years old, 11 years later, I was with my homeboy in Jamaica, Queens, waiting for the bus. And a guy came up the stairs from the E train station on Sufton Boulevard and looked at me and said, LaShawn Marston? I looked at him. He left and he came back and said, yo, you try to get me jumped in the third grade. The guy had a gun. No, Rock Logic.
Go ahead.
I swear to everything I love.
Are you serious?
The guy lifted up his shirt. My homeboy, his name is Pick. His name is K-Ron. He was with me. He will verify it. We talk about it still to this day. Remember that guy flashed the gun on you and told you, come around the corner, broad daylight, on a Sunday afternoon, pulled his shirt up and said, come around the corner, I'll give you what I've been holding for you since third grade.
Since third grade.
And we're 19 years old now.
Wow.
He held that grudge for a long time. Now, this is the key. We can't determine when a person should let something go. Right? That's real. Like, and I learned that in my marriage. Like, yo, that happened 8 months ago. Love, you still upset about that? Yeah, I'm still upset. And you can't tell me when I should not be upset.
Right.
Well, one of the things I could speak to, because I come from that agency, training They get a lot of good
It does,
training.
I'm about to say that.
They get a lot of it's not really the, and I respectfully disagree with you.
No, you
it's
can
not
respect, that's what I want.
It's not really the training, it's a culture.
Yep.
It's a culture, meaning you come in as a rookie and you go out with some seasoned cat, and he gonna teach you. You remember training day?
Yep,
It's not quite like that, but sorta. You know what I'm saying? But not in
He'll
the
give you the
criminal
ropes.
part. And then also, you know, there was a time, I'm not sure where it's at now, but they did want 2 years of college. You know, so I don't know if that's still going going forward or not.
Right.
But definitely the training, it's not the training, it's a culture thing. And
So it's the culture of the police department.
yes, all the
Okay.
agencies, yeah. It's just,
Okay.
you know, and then you look at that qualified immunity. I mean, you get a badge and a gun. Y'all seen the movie Juice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Power.
No, absolutely.
Power.
Sure.
Power over people. And then you have the backing of the unions. You know, the unions are powerful.
Extremely.
So, right. So what is that? How many people?
So now you've just gotten a license to kill.
Exactly, basically.
And I think that culture kind of started with the war on drugs when they started really coming into our community and just ransacking people,
I believe it goes
knocking
before that.
doors
I
down.
believe it goes way back.
Then continue-
I believe
yeah,
it goes-
yeah.
I know. I'm just saying it has to go way back. You know, because things are just different. You know, I came on in '92. I got out in 2015. You know, for my injury. But at the end of the day, I got to meet people with 20 and 30 years on, and they have a whole different mentality than if you came on the job. You come on the job, you want to make a difference in your community. But you know what? You want to go home too, right?
Absolutely, so you gotta understand-
you want to go home.
Either get
Right.
with
Right.
the program
Yep.
or get left.
Right.
And that's
so
the
you want
reality.
to go home. And that's a mindset when you get out there in the streets.
That you wanna go home.
I want to go home to my family.
100%.
And was dope. A brother he gave me an idea a couple of weeks ago when we talked about police. We was in Queensbridge talking about issues with police. He said, "How is it that you're supposed to enforce the law when you don't even fully know the law? You need to go to law school to be a police officer, to be a law enforcement agency. You should be in law school, really fully, thoroughly understanding the law, because there are people in the streets who know the law better than cops, and that cops get frustrated because they are taught to do something, but that's not actually what is law." And so
Right.
that's where another part of the conflict comes in. I see.
Yeah, they
Right,
give them
right.
a little bit of training, some law. They get some law, some social science. Because when I was a civilian, we went through social science.
Okay.
We had to learn some law, so you had to learn some things. But no, you're not at a law degree
You're not
type.
you're not a lawyer.
So you getting a little bit. Now
Yeah.
we got a little bit. We've had 3 months of training. I don't know what it is now. I'm talking about '92.
Right,
but
right.
with them it's 6. It might be a little more. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, but they're not coming out, and they come out with credits too. So they do get
Okay.
college credits, but they're not coming out with a law degree. No.
Right.
Or the mindset of a lawyer. No.
But,
Got it.
and I think it is. I think it is the culture. I think
Yeah.
it is the culture of what's going on, and I agree with that. And the culture has to be changed.
No
right?
cameras back then.
Because now and here's to your point, to lend to your point that it is the culture. All these cameras going on, and you still doing it.
Right.
They are pointing the camera at
Right.
you.
8
Right.
minutes.
And that
46
culture
seconds.
is still so deep in you that you're not even realizing, yo, I can't even tell the lie.
Right.
I can't tell the lie, but you still want to try to tell a lie, but the dude's got the camera on
Right.
you.
Right.
And I'm going, what is this?
But now, this is something that is so powerful. As fucked up as it is, right?
Okay.
That our people are being killed, and these people are defending each other.
Right.
I grew up hearing what goes on in this house stays in this house. And to me, when you have whether it's a racial group of people, ethnic group of people, whatever the people classify themselves as, if we're family, we're supposed to stand up for each other. Right. And if you're my brother and you go outside and you do something dumb, I'm not gonna violate you outside in front of the public. When you get in something, like, why you do that dumb shit, man? You know we're gonna get in trouble for that now. But outside in public, I'm like, nah, my brother ain't do that. I'm trying to get you off. You're supposed to do that in human family.
Right.
The problem is we don't do that. Black people, we don't have our own systems. So that's the problem. It's not the problem that you are supposed to do that, man. If your brother shoots somebody and that's your brother, you love him, and you know that you believe he's a good person at heart, you're supposed to try your best to get him out of doing his consequence. The problem is we need to have the same energy and make sure that he faces his consequence.
Right.
Yeah.
But in that, we need to have the demands. For one of the things I said during our demonstration a couple of weeks ago, I said, like, if we all work in the same place, and if someone came in and said, yo, SugaRay shot somebody outside, chances are I might get fired immediately, right?
Right.
Let alone this video, I might lose my job immediately, my reputation in my community is being destroyed. But when a law enforcement agency shoots someone, they want to go through all. They still got their job. They might change a little bit, but they want to go through all the propaganda while they still on the streets and free. Right. No. Once there is a complaint, once there is a thought that this person did something, they should be arrested immediately. They should lose their job immediately. And if they are found guilty of murder, right, then the family of the murdered person should receive the pension from that person for a lifetime.
Ooh,
72 years.
What is up?
That's
72 years.
What is up with this dude?
Right, that's what should happen.
Yeah.
That damn should make you not shoot somebody.
Right, because those are real consequences.
Real consequences.
Shoot me.
Right.
Wow. Take the pension out, and not only do you lose your pension, you should lose access to your children. If you kill one of my children, you shouldn't be able to see your child.
But that's where qualified immunity
Absolutely.
comes in. You can't. What can you do?
Right.
You can't.
Absolutely.
The city pays the bill. The taxpayer. So,
As I say
somebody
that,
that child is dead from being killed by law enforcement. Some of their tax monies is coming back to them, but not in that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So. But that's one of the biggest things that we have to fight to get abolished is that qualified immunity. And it's not just in law enforcement. Corrections has it. The fire department has it. A lot of our government, you know, the mayor and his office. I mean, people could do what they want, and there's no consequences.
I just remember in EMS. I remember one time we were up in the projects, right, and this cop had gotten a hold of this kid, and for some reason I was there. You know what I'm saying? He was chasing him. And he had picked the kid up to throw him off the balcony, right? And I said, stop. I said, stop. I said, what are you doing? Obviously, it was explicit.
Right.
I said, what are you doing? Put him down. He's like, nah, it's a little... I chased him. You know, he's huffing and puffing. I'm like, you out of shape? You want to kill him? You out of shape?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said, put him down. I said, because if you do it, I'm telling. I'm going to speak up. I might lose my job, whatever's happening, but I got a human life on the line, and that is a child that you have over your head. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
So he put him down, and he looked at me like, yeah, all right. I said, yeah, all right, bro. I said, yeah, all right, whatever. I said, I'm not going to be a accomplice to murder.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what happened. That's what happened to them fool-ass cops out in Minneapolis.
Right.
They became an accomplice to murder because none of them stood up to say, hey, we should not be doing that.
Absolutely.
You should not be doing that. Let's stop this now. And
even if they had to grab them.
Exactly.
Of course,
Let's go easy. Get the supervisor down there. You know what I'm saying? And because of that blue wall of silence that they have, they allow these things to happen, and nobody says anything, which really is a testament to how much do you fucking value human life?
Right.
Yeah.
Stan, was that my whole talk? My
Absolutely.
whole talk during the demonstration was, if you are human, it is your, especially if you are an American, if you consider yourself an American, America, it's so crazy because the people who founded America, who declared independence from Great Britain, right, they were bad people, period, right, because they had some of our people under them, right?
That's where it came from.
However, right, because you have to be able to like look at objectively. The fact that they realized we was being taxed against our will, we had standing armies in our communities. We need to be free, declare independence. Like, it was about American way. And that's, if you're an American, if you're a human, it is not only your right, but it is your responsibility to stand up and to fight and to defend human life at all costs, even with your own life, if you're an American. But these people, again, they don't know culture. Right? They don't know that culture. They don't truly know themselves, their purpose in the world, because whether you're American or human, any part of this world. I did an interview with a Japanese newspaper the other day, and the reporter asked me, what is something you want to say to the Japanese media and to the people? And I said, understand that our struggle in America for black liberation, right, is no different than your struggle in Japan fighting against imperialism.
Right.
Our struggles, our fights against imperialism and colonialism is all around the globe.
Right.
And so, like, that's the power, that's the strength that we have when we connect globally, internationally, and that's something that I think. A lot of our misleaders, I call them misleaders, a lot of our misleaders do not do well at all. So that's why when something happens to a black man or black woman in America, nobody comes to our defense.
Right.
Because they've broken up all of the ties and saying, we're separate, our struggle is, no. Our struggle is unique, absolutely. However, we all fight the same enemy.
Right.
And so something happens to us, y'all need to come and defend. Something happens to you, we there.
We need to come defend, yeah.
That's how we destroy white supremacy.
Right.
Another thing we need to look at when it comes to law.
Saundrea? Go.
Right, get it right.
My man is heavy, son. I'm sitting there like,
Another thing we have to look at is the district attorney's office. Okay, that's very important. You got to keep in mind that the district attorney, where do they get their cases from? The police.
Right.
So we need something different, and we also need to be vetting as voters.
Yes.
You need to be, next time somebody's running for district attorney, NYCHA and the rest of the people, you need to be vetting these people.
Yep.
Because if you look at the cases and look how things went, like Staten Island, wherever Garden and so forth, and you seeing stuff is not being done, you have to vote them out.
Yep.
You
Right.
have to vote them out. So we have to look at that, and use our, exercise our rights.
You
in
know what
voting.
was interesting about that? Because we were having a conversation last night, once again at the barbecue. Barbecue.
What did you
can't-
have
a lot
to
of
eat,
conversations
though?
about-
No, what did you have to eat?
I had some red snapper, and they really had it all hooked up.
All
Big shout
right.
to my man Olson.
Okay.
They had a thing, and then my sister-in-law Shireen, she made lo mein and shrimp,
like
and
a
it was
great
really
time.
nice. And in the process of that, we were talking about how you're deemed. When you go into court, you're deemed, what is the word? Not illiterate. You're deemed unfit, right, to actually defend yourself.
Yes.
And I had to explain why. I said, here's the deal. I said, let's not be who we are in the barbecue right now, okay? So I'm going to make, at this table, let's do it now, all right? SugaRay, you are the judge, okay? Stan, you are the attorney for the defendant. I'm the DA. Sandra is the bailiff, right? And we're all sitting here having a barbecue.
Right.
And we're talking about Steve Jones. We're all friends. When you walk into that courtroom,
Absolutely.
if you think that you're getting a
Yep.
fair shake, you are stupid.
Yep.
You're stupid because they're all friends.
Yep.
They all know each other.
Yep.
After work, they go and drink, they
together.
chill, right?
They had the baby showers,
Yeah,
bar
now
mitzvahs.
Stan and the judge, they at the bar, they having a drink.
Right.
Stan's like, judge's like, so what do you think about Steve Jones? He seems like a cool guy. Stan's like, Steve Jones is a jerk. Cold, done. 10 years. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cases are decided in the bar. They're not decided in the courtroom. It's behind the scenes because the DA and the defense attorney, y'all cool, right? And we say, well, Stan, what do you think you want to do with him? I mean,
Yep.
he seems like he's kind of a cool guy.
Yep. They
Is he
bought it.
really a cool
Give
guy?
me this one, I'll give you that one. Let's.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, so you got to understand when you walk into that system, you walking into a system that is straight fixed already.
Right.
100%.
And that is unfixable.
Especially with a court appointed.
Yeah, and then you got a court attorney,
Yeah.
right? You got to come in with a stranger
Period.
that understands the system.
Yep.
But as long as we all, man, you ain't getting no fair shake.
Everybody check to
And,
be signed.
and
by
that
the
is
same
almost an unfixable situation because how do you not become friends with your coworkers?
Right.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? It's just natural.
I think the only way to fix that is by remembering what was put into the Declaration of Independence in the Constitution is that it is all power to the people. And if we, right, so they have the people of the state of New York versus, like they had to meet the people of the state of New York versus LaShawn Marston, right? When I was going to court. And it was, they say like a jury of your peers. The issue is the jury most times are not our peers, right? And the people that's in court are not understanding who we are and why we are in the situation that we're in. But the law says that if the majority of the people present vote one way, then that's what it is. So if we all showed up, if one of our young people got arrested for something, and we understood the circumstance, we understood why he sold that drug or whatever, and we went down and said he is not guilty, he may be guilty of being poor and being desperate and doing things in desperate means to support himself or his family. However, he is not a bad person, and this is what should happen. And we put the pressure on it and don't back down, then what we demand is the result that is supposed to happen.
Right.
The problem is that we don't go down there. We don't go to court for each other. I remember back in the days, I remember my little brother got arrested a couple years ago for fighting some police. I went down there flipping, right, let him know who I am, and this is not happening because y'all violated him.
Correct.
And we made something happen,
Right.
right? But we don't do that no more.
And then on the top of that, then you have the Mason, right? The secret society. Because when my brother shot somebody with a shotgun, my father went to court. My father was a Mason. My brother shot somebody with a shotgun. No doubt. No doubt. It wasn't even like he kind of did it. He shouldn't have. He did it cold, right? Now, he was defending himself in the situation, but still, it was a little excessive on my part, but I got it, where you got it from, right? So, here it is. They go to court, they do a little sign thing, whatever, boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
My brother went home.
It's real.
Case dismissed. Bang. So, it is a system that really isn't designed to give an outsider
Right.
a fair shake. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then
and the problem with that is we forget that this is our system.
Right.
this is our
We
system.
built this shit. We gave them the blueprint for government. And so we are so afraid because they said that these things are bad. You shouldn't be a part of this. No, if we take over, we get in there, then we will have the justice that we claim that we want. But we are so afraid and timid and not really ready to take this country back. And that's what we need. Like, take our country back, man, and redistribute the wealth and redistribute equity
You know
and
what's so
truly
funny
give
about
power
what you
back
just
to the
said?
people.
What you just said is what I've been talking about since this thing happened with George Floyd. And people were saying, black people were saying, we're not going to celebrate Independence Day. I said, are you kidding? I said, let's be clear. I said, because y'all say this, but I don't think y'all know what y'all be saying, right? This is the problem with people that don't have social studies in school, right? I said, we as black people, as the African American, the black American, the American, we've been here 400 years. The country is only 276 years old. We are more American than America itself.
Talk about it.
Right.
Talk about
Than
it.
the whole country, right?
the first
Than
only
everybody.
Americans.
We are the Americans.
Absolutely.
When you talk about American, make America great again.
That's
nigga,
us.
We the
Right.
Americans.
Wow. That's right.
Powerful, yes, sir.
That's
You
powerful.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
200 years later is when the country came into existence. But we was already here. This is so when you say I'm not American, you bugging.
Bugging.
You don't even understand. That means you don't understand who you are.
That means you've been bamboozled.
You've been bamboozled.
You've been bamboozled and hoodwinked, and that's the biggest lies that
the biggest lie.
Jay-Z said it in one of his songs. He said, "Go away, I'm already home." Like, this is our home. And if you look at the old map, they flipped them again. These people are tricksters for real, man. They flipped the map. America was known as Mexum, and it's technically Northwest Africa. Right, so we are home. Not only we home if you say Northwest Africa, we are home because if human civilization started in Africa, that means the first people everywhere are African. That means America is African, and this is our land, and we just got to act accordingly and get our shit back.
Right.
And we get it back through the paperwork.
Right.
The way they got it from us is the way we get it back from them. But
Paperwork. Lays says that all the time. Lays always paperwork. You want to be the president of the United States? Paperwork. It's paperwork. We afraid of paperwork. We are and paperwork illiterate people. We hate paperwork. You know what I'm saying? We hate the process. We hate to read. We hate to study.
I think partly, I think I understand why. Is because we also come from an era we are naturally by handshake, right? And look in your eyes. We are men and women by word. We make a verbal agreement. That it shouldn't be no payment. It should be no contracts because we made an agreement. And so I think that's another innate reason why we don't really like the paperwork, because we know that it shouldn't even be that way. The European corrupted it and made it that you need it, but we're natural. Yo, I'll meet you at this time.
Here's my word.
You're gonna give me this. I'm gonna give you that. I don't hit for you for 6 months, but I know that we got that date locked in. I'm gonna be there.
Which is so crazy because that was the demise of every artist in the music industry.
It was.
We didn't understand the contract. What I need a contract for? I'm gonna make a record. You pay me. That's kind of the deal. We're going to go in. No, we got to do a contract. And then we was like, I don't need no contract because you felt like you didn't need no contract. I'll just sign it. And then all of a sudden when they flip on you and they start going, well, did you read your contract?
Right.
You're like, nah.
I trust you.
I trust you. I trust what's going on. You took me to dinner. You met my kids.
Wined and dined. You wined and dined me, and then you fucked me.
Yeah, I didn't think you would do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're right. It is not in our nature to be like that.
But as in Rome, do what Romans do. So we have to, and you learn the system, and until we can learn the contracts, do it, sign the contracts, read them, until we can get to a place, which is I don't think anytime soon, right? But when we can get back to the ancient way, when it's just verbal agreement and
where your word was your bond.
Your word was your bond, and what you say you did, and if you didn't say it, you didn't do it. Simple as that. But yeah. It's so much to say, man.
Bro. I'm sitting there just blown away. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really get excited about talk. You know, people that talk. You know what I'm saying? But you are like exceptional, bro. Like your whole shit is screwed on right in what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I feel weird because you're 36, right? 36. And then I'm like, well, you know, you're a young man, and I'm like, damn, I'm old. Right? like I really gotta say, like as a young man, you know what I'm saying? Like you really on the ball with your knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and your perspective, and you don't really hear that every day.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm really enjoying that. I gotta give you a hand clap with that and the beat. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I gotta give you that.
But yo, man, being that you just played some music, I want to just shout out my boy, man, GQ. He's a independent artist from Queensbridge, hip hop artist, clothing designer. This is his hat, genuine quality.
Okay, wonderful.
And it's just propagating like to be authentic. Like his clothing line is all about being authentic. Be true to you, be genuine, and perpetuate genuine quality in all that you do.
And let me ask you a question since you brought up hip hop.
I want to address
what role
one thing.
do you think?
I want to address one thing in the
okay.
chat room because when they happen, I got to acknowledge what Cynthia said. Cynthia Tipp. She says, "Never accept a handshake from NYCHA. That's when paperwork is essential." That's why.
Yes.
That's what she said.
Absolutely.
Facts.
How can I? Was it somebody else? Roxanne.
Hey, Roxanne, what's going
How can I
on?
make this live a watch party? That's kind of hard to explain right now, but on your page, if it's on your page, you should be able to
make
see
it, yeah.
watch party at the bottom of the video,
Yeah,
and then you just click it. You know what I'm saying? And then that'll kick in, Roxanne. I just like to acknowledge you guys in what you said. Okay, I got to bring people to see you. Stand up. Stand.
What? Okay.
That's Roxanne.
Okay, cool. Thanks,
Yeah,
Roxanne.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. All right.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the support.
For sure, and we'll get with that going. And, I always like to acknowledge the room because a lot of times we get into the conversation
Right.
and they're commenting on what we're saying at that moment, and we kind of
Absolutely.
miss it. You know what
No,
I'm
you
saying?
need to do
so
that.
go ahead, back to you. Let's get.
So
back
I wanted to
this
ask, so
Yes, sir.
since you brought up hip hop, what role do you think hip hop can play in mobilizing us in this movement that we're in?
Everything. Hip hop is the movement, man. Whether you like him or not, Obama won presidency because of hip hop. Not because of how great, because of hip hop. He got the hip hop artist, Jay-Z, Young Jeezy, made some of presidents. Like, that's how he got it. It was the hip hop generation. And I think a lot of the again, so-called misleaders in our community, they shun hip hop because of the language and stuff like that. And that's my lifestyle, so I embrace it fully. Like, again, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up seeing crack vibes. I grew up seeing friends get killed. I grew up hustling. I went to prison. I've been shot. So when people rap about it, although like it's not, I speak to my friends about we don't got to glorify it. We have to enhance our quality of music, right? However, it is a reflection of our life. But I think hip hop is the key, right? If we can get the people, if we can get a hip hop party and talk about, because the people in hip hop, I mean, everybody wants the same thing. So regardless of what you rap about, you want to be free. You want to live peacefully with your family, your friends. You want to have fun. You want to travel and enjoy life. So even in hip hop, even in the most craziest scenes, I've been able to speak life because I speak your language. Like, yo, let's get free. And if you say F the system, that means we shouldn't be selling drugs because we propagating the system. If we get arrested, we go into jail. We are keeping the system going. So if you say F the system, the only way to truly say F the system is stay the hell out their way. That's the only way.
And I think,
And hip-hop-
I want to expound on you with the hip hop thing real quick. And that is, you got to remember too, the politicians now that are coming into office, they are hip hop. Like, they were brought up in it. You got a politician that's 50. Listen, he grew up listening to hip hop.
Exactly.
Sandra Ortiz, Ocasio, right? Hip hop all day. She's just too young not to have been affected by it. You know what I'm saying? When you have the older guys that really ain't leading no more. Let's just be
They
frank.
not. They
You know
just
what I'm
there.
saying? Al, Jesse Jackson. Al did a really a beautiful speech at Floyd's funeral and stuff. But he's not really. He's leading from a standpoint of a general, right? He's leading from a commander standpoint, right? He's gonna say some stuff, but he's gonna be easy. What Al lacks, and what I think our leaders, right, who really are misleaders, they just don't lead anymore, right? They need new soldiers. They need that next young voice that's gonna march across the bridge and stop traffic and do what Fat Al used to do. You know what I'm saying? Be radical,
Sure.
right? And he doesn't really have that. He doesn't really have that because I've sat and talked to him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to him, and it's like he's gonna lead as a commander. But he needs to have somebody that can take accountability away from him when they do some radical. You know
So
what I'm saying?
what does he command?
Well, when you listen to him on MSNBC or when you see him really delve into the community, right? He is a commander of the black community, and I'm sure you how that is. Once again, put it like this: who was the mouthpiece for Elijah Muhammad?
Malcolm X.
Okay, so Elijah was the commander. Malcolm X was the loudmouth general, and he was able to distance himself from Malcolm. Even, and I'm not saying I'm not talking about in the end. I'm saying when Malcolm said some stuff, You know, Elijah Muhammad was sort of the media. Well, you know how Malcolm is. You know, brother Malcolm. That's what they did. You got to have that in any organization.
I think
That's
Elijah
how
Muhammad
organizations work.
commanded that this is what we should be doing, and he demonstrated it.
He said it to Malcolm. He gave Malcolm the marching orders. But when the heat came, it was, well, you know, brother Malcolm, how he is. You know, that's what he is. It's different. You know what I'm saying? He gave the marching office, brother Malcolm, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to do this. And when the slingshot came back, when the heat came, you know, brother Malcolm, you know, and you have to have that in any organization. You have to have somebody that can take the heat once a person, especially once a fighter is older. You need that young blood. You need that youth to take that heat. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really have that. We don't have a young Jesse Jackson that is taking orders from Jesse Jackson and going out there and being this. And I'm gonna tell you the truth.
But we don't need that, brother. We got me.
Always do.
I take that offensive because people are always looking for someone else when the leaders are right here in our communities that are more powerful than them, that are more prominent than them.
Which I was just about to say. I see you like that. I see you like, you know what? If a general came and said, listen, young blood, this is where we're going. This is where we need this movement to go. And you're out there doing that, that's what you are. You're that. You're exactly what I'm talking about. You're the younger version of me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like being out there fighting like that. But when I got to get out there and fight, I'm going to say what I got to say. And I take the heat direct. They see me do it. I get the heat direct. But as you get older, you have to have young people.
Absolutely.
To have your army going. And that's where our disconnect is with them. Yes, they are misleaders, but they don't have that connection with the people with people like yourself, really, that Al can go, listen, this is the move we need to make. Let's make that move. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening.
Well, actually, on that note, I don't know if you want to say it to the public, you know, but I think SugaRay is contemplating running for office, perhaps. You know, I think he's thinking about it, so I think that he's on the road to becoming. But if you want to share that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thought. I mean, because I've been serving my community since like 5 years old, 6 years old with my granddad, right? And then at 12 years old, 13 years old, we started the first peer program, the first team program at the Reese in Queensbridge. My generation was the first team program. And we was 12, 13 doing canned food drives, book drives, clothing drives for the community, right? I was, even at 16 years old, hustling in the streets, 15, 16 years old, hustling in the streets. I made time every day to go to the community center to tutor other young people who are my age and younger, because I've always been good at math and language. Like, I've always been an exceptional learner and and had an exceptional ability to facilitate what I learned in a way that you will understand. So I've always done that. So that's who I am. And a couple of years ago, when I really learned that like the issues in our community were directly related to the budget, saying there's no money, the land, what's happening with the land and the laws, I was like, whoa, okay. And then I learned that that's city council's direct responsibility. It was like, okay, then maybe I need to be involved. I have no aspirations of making it a career. If I do decide to run and I win, it'll probably be one term, to just make some certain very specific changes and to groom someone else. Because I'm an artist, man. I'm a storyteller. Like, I need to travel and make movies and write books. That's my gift. That's my passion. That is where I am most impactful. Not being stuck in the office listening to, no. I can do it if I have to, because I'll do whatever is necessary to move our people forward. But that's not my personal drive, right?
Is that 2021?
Yeah, 2021, District 26 City Council.
Did you get in the race yet?
No, I'm concontemplating it.
Okay.
I'm thinking it.
Trying to get in though.
I think it's a great idea.
I'm saying SugaRay should run.
And it'll only expand you.
I mean, but I think it might hurt me, right? Because I won't be able to travel the country the way I'm doing and need to do, right? And build. Like, I have connections in Africa with young people in Nigeria. They built their own tablets, right? And they just need an actual facility to manufacture it, because they was getting manufactured in China. So like, it's a global thing. Like, I humbly.
Politicians travel.
I mean, and
just to let you know, you can go you want.
But I will go, and I will want. Again, I'm a free person. I'm an artist, man. I might want to go with my children and stay in a pyramid for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to call. Oh, you're not. Let me.
You're
I'm
not
doing my
representing
thing.
your community.
Yeah, I am representing my community.
Yeah. Right,
Everything I do is represent my community,
Right.
but based on your structure, it's not. And I don't want to be caught. I'm a Pisces too. I can't be caught up in the structure. Yeah, man. I need to. When I feel it, I need to go. Right, like in heat, they said something. Don't put yourself in a position where you can't leave. When you feel the heat coming, you can't leave in 10 seconds flat. Right. And I wouldn't want to put myself in a position in my community, say I'm a city council person, and something happens, I need to leave. Because right now, with COVID, it's what made me really contemplate like moving with my children. My children need space, right? I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. They need open space, front yard, backyard, right? They need fruit trees. They love mangoes and strawberries. They need fruit trees.
Right.
And me staying in Queensbridge or Long Island City, it's not gonna happen the way it needs to happen. So, but I'm 90% leaning towards staying. But even if I stay, I'm making a decision probably by September, the latest.
Okay.
Even if I stay, I still might not run for council because I think that, again, I look at what is my biggest impact, right? How do I impact the community the best while still providing safety and economic stability for my family first and foremost? I might just want to do something else and just travel, man, and travel the country and speak and do like a freedom tour, go to all of the hoods and speak and build and do like that, man, you know, where I'm still free to be me.
I love it. Hold on. Got to give a big shout out to Tina Green. She's in the building. What do we have in the chat room? Cynthia said Ja Rule was supporting NYCHA and then went MIA. She said, we do not need celebrity pop-ups. We need commitments from them, from the celebrities. 100%.
So
Absolutely.
And all of them that did grow up in NYCHA, they should be supporting NYCHA. And once again, big shout out to Tina Green that's in the room.
Hey Tina, how are you?
All right. So once again, y'all can call in. The number's scrolling on the screen. It is active, 908-242-6234. The number is active. So if you call in, you will be on the air. So I'm just letting y'all know that, all right?
To SugaRay, 2021 might not be the ideal time for you from what you're saying. But if you have the aspirations, you know, keep it. Because maybe the next go round, you know what I'm saying, and get some stuff. So it's either now or then.
If I do it, it's gonna be 2021.
Okay.
Because if not, I'm gonna probably leave, or even if I stay, it's gonna be something else.
Okay.
Because again, I have like some people have aspirations. I want to do this for 20 years, and I don't. Like I said, I just want to make movies, man, and write stories and listen to stories and help people heal.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
like that's my mission and purpose in life.
But
And
if you're thinking about it, you got to start, because some people are still getting in the races now.
I know I'm not. Some of them I know in my district, and I told all of them, man, the ones I met that are running that already declared. I said, listen, understand this, that, man. That if I've declared, doesn't matter how long ago you declared, doesn't matter how much money you made. I've been doing this shit for 13 years, and I'm known all throughout my district. And like humbly, like you don't match my passion, because it's literally compassion and emotion. Like I yesterday listening to this dude Robbie Nova. Shout out to Robbie Nova, man. Another amazing artist, musician. He had a big hit record with Mano a couple of years ago that was all over the airwaves. But he made a song called "This Whole World," and like speaking about like the whole world and how it's sad and how like people have given up hope, right? But like we could band together and do it. Like I cried listening to that song yesterday, man. Like because like that is my spirit, that is my mission. Like humbly, like I am here just to serve and to liberate as much as possible, myself first, those immediately close to me, and then everyone else around me. And so there's just certain things that is like, you know.
It's a big decision.
Yeah, well,
Big decision.
You know what I'm
Big
saying? You
decision.
take your time
Big
with
commitment.
it. And you know, once
take
you
your
feel
time,
like
but
you
it's
want
still
to do
not a lot of time.
You know what?
This is
It's if you want to answer the call. When you call and you know you're supposed to answer the call, you'll answer the call when
Right.
you get there. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me
that's
still?
kinda
My
what
mic
I'm
is out.
Oh,
No, you
oh no.
There you go.
Still here?
I hear it
Okay,
now.
okay, yeah.
And I just want to add, I mean, this
brother.
brother does a lot of work in the community. So whether you are a city council person or just a brother in the hood doing good for the hood, you know, I commend you for the work you're doing.
Appreciate
You know,
you.
and I know that we get up every Friday. You can tell them a little bit about our community doing Fridays. We put together in Queensbridge. Tell them about that, a little bit about that, and what we doing on Fridays.
Man, you can tell.
No, this is yours. You our guest.
But it's man, like I'm naturally shy, man. I grew up with crooked teeth and I had light spots on my face. And I have a dent in my head. A fan fell on my head when I was a baby, and I talk with a stutter, and so like I'm naturally shy.
I kind of missed all of that, by the way. I didn't see
Yeah.
the crooked teeth. I didn't see the dent in the head, and I damn sure didn't hear no stutter at this table. God, you was on like popcorn.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, naturally I'm shy. So I really like when people like that's when you give the introduction. Talk about yourself. It's like you talk about it. If it's because I'm gonna talk. I'm just a regular. Like I'm just still a young person from the hood trying to make shit better, man. Like I got married. We ended like I have a lot of shortcomings to my own standards. Right? I'm not where I want to be as a dad, as a man, as a friend, as a son. To my own standards. So you say talk about me is like, come on, like I got work to do. Right?
Self-critical.
But however, with that, I will because you know. So. It was actually you and I had the conversation at the idea first. So I do work with the census. It's obviously, Stand is Justice for All Coalition, and they're doing the housing. I just keep going out. I don't know if it's catching my audio.
We
Okay,
say.
because on my side. But yeah, me and Stan was talking about how we need to be out in the community, right? Some people are not coming to the meetings in the Reese, and clearly now there are no meetings in the Reese. So we need to be outside facilitating information. And so I said, you know what? Like, my whole thing is I'm a community builder, and let's build community. And Stan was like, hey, let's do it. I'll show up. I said, let's do it next Friday. And so Stan came out. I reached out to 696 Build Queensbridge. They, we set up right in front of their office. Astoria Mutual Aid Network came out. Global Kids came out. A couple of different organizations just facilitating information. Western Queens Community Land Trust came out. And that was the first week. And then the second week we didn't do it because we had a shooting response. There were like 4 shootings in a week in Queensbridge. So we had a shooting response during that time. But then this Friday that just passed, we did it again. It was phenomenal. Evie with Global Kids, she through Frontline Foods Queens, she partnered with Sammy's Kebab, is a restaurant in Long Island City on Crescent Street, and they was able to contribute 70 hot cooked meals, different kinds of chickens and rices and pastas and salads and sauces on the side, and people were able to come up and get food for their family. And one of the trays of food could feed at least 1 adult and probably 2 children or 2 adults. So we literally fed families, and that's what it's about. Like, that's what community building is about. It's providing whatever is needed, whatever is necessary, even if it's not necessarily desperate. But if you know people, so COVID, people been giving out the boxes of food, right? Boxes are great, right? Food is great no matter how you give it out. However, there are some people in the hoods who that box food that comes in the boxes, they don't eat. They don't eat. They're not gonna cook it, right? It's a lot of canned stuff, and they're not gonna use this. I see it all the time in my building. It goes to waste. People throw it out, throw mad canned food out. So I said, okay, you can complain and say they're throwing out, or you can, as a leader, adjust and say, okay, how can we still provide people with food? You know what? Let's provide some hot cooked food they can eat on the spot, or they can take home and eat. And then while they're here on the line, we can fellowship. It's a little different, right? Giving a box of food where do what you want with it, where there's no human connection. It's just take the food and go. Whereas if they're choosing, oh, can I get this chicken? Can I get that? And you're talking. It's just a different. It's homely. That's family. Right, and that's what has been missing in NYCHA is in the last couple of years. I grew up; it was very family oriented.
Sure.
Although it was crazy in the early '90s, it was very family oriented, and just through the systemic changes and people losing hope and becoming depressed, like people have stayed to themselves, and so we kind of lost that family dynamic in our.
We lost community.
We lost community in NYCHA. It's just hoods now, right?
Yeah, it's just hoods and individuals, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't even know who their neighbor are.
True story.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas you had a floor captain,
and
the floor captain knew everybody, right?
Absolutely.
And if you had 20 stories, you had 20 floor captains, and that's what bonded the building together.
And that's what we working to rebuild in Queensbridge. I wrote a treatment a couple of years ago, maybe like 7 years ago, for a community, Queensbridge Community Council, an independent community council, right? Where we bring that back. Where you bring floor captains, you bring building captains, you bring block captains, you bring Queensbridge is north side, south side, right? You vote on, okay, who's going to represent the south side, who's going to represent the north side. And then once you have all of that, then you say, okay, who's going to represent the community in speaking to city council, speaking to state senate, speaking to assembly. Every community should have that. And with that, we need our own media. Like, it's so much that we need that we can do in our communities, man, that man, I don't even like talking about the misleaders, man, and the people who, like, you know, because so there are people in our community, a lot of our tenant presidents pander for jobs, right? Particularly Long Island City, they was arguing about Amazon, and we need to have Amazon here because they're going to provide thousands of jobs, and the community dropped the ball. And I'm saying, listen, humbly, my children's mother is a freaking forensic toxicologist. The woman created a STEAM camp, summer camp. She worked at Columbia University, fresh out of John Jay College. She could run a STEAM Education Learning Center and create 1,000 jobs herself. That's one person. There are at least 20 people in Queens that I know can run Fortune 500 companies. So if the tenant presidents really cared about their community, they probably don't care. They don't know the community. You would push for the resources to fund these sole proprietorships so they can become corporations to create the jobs from within your community. But we are so conditioned, partly by some of the misleaders you named, right, to beg for jobs and say, no, we got all the shit that we need. Let's empower ourselves, build these businesses, hire our own. But we so fucking focused on looking outside of ourselves for a solution. We need to bring in this company to provide jobs. When if we focus on these 5 people, we can create 1,000 jobs in the community.
100%.
Right? Like,
that's right.
And that's why I get so frustrated, because that's why I say misleaders, because either you care and you just don't know how to do it, or you just don't care. One or the other, but either way, you need to do something different.
Right.
Or step down, get out the way.
Right. You got to
and
change
you
your
mentioned the TA presidents. So I mean,
and you'll have a lot of that in NYCHA, don't you? You'll have like a lot of like TA presidents.
They're often, I would say, in partnership. You know, with many of the people that want to come into our community and take advantage and make money and make profit.
Absolutely.
You know, these billionaires use these CA presidents and other so-called people to speak for the community, like a Bishop Taylor in Long Island City. I gotta call you out. You know, they use these people. You know, and these people, they say speak for a community, and they don't. I gotta call you out, Bishop Taylor. I hope you listening. I gotta call you out because you are misleading the community. And they go to these people and say, this person represents Queensbridge, or this person represents NYCHA. And half of them don't even live there, number one. They're not representing anything but their own self-interest because they're making money. And we know you're making money. We know you're making money. They're getting paid from these deals.
Did Cynthia write anything yet? Because Cynthia's a resident association president, but she's a good one though. She's a good one.
I'm not saying all of them are bad. There's some, but I know in Long Island City we have a problem.
Yes, she did.
We have a problem in Long Island City.
She said,
What she said?
not all of us.
Right, okay.
Yes, not you, Cynthia.
No,
we know.
that's right. I had to call her out. Yeah.
Right. So no, there's some good ones, but you got a lot of ones. You know, like Amazon. Now they trying to build another high rise in our community in Long Island City, where right next door in the same neighborhood you got people starving. The neighborhood does not need another $1 billion building that nobody can afford to move into.
How about
when
this?
you have all these people that need housing, better housing right now? Why are we building big buildings for billionaires?
How about this? How about forget big buildings? How you build a $6 million bathroom in Queensbridge Park and tell us you don't have money to extend our anti-violence program, or you don't have enough money?
I'm sorry. I missed something. What did you say?
They have the park house. You can Google it. The current city councilman posted and took a picture next to the park house saying that we are opening soon, and I'm proud to say that we invested $6 million into this park bathroom. It's glass. It's fancy. It don't need to be that damn fancy right across from Queensbridge. And down the block in Hunts Point, they boasted about building a $44 million library that they say, oh, it's inclusive. People from Queens don't even go to the library 2 blocks up on 21st Street. They're not going 10 blocks up in a white neighborhood. They're not going there. It's not for us.
Right.
But it's propaganda, and they pander to us and say, oh, we're building this new library. But the problem was, so when I was speaking about it, I said, well, SugaRay, the money was in the budget for the...
Hold on. Let me see. Say hello.
Press 1 to send a voicemail.
Hello?
You knew I was going to call in on that one.
Who's that? That's Cynthia?
Hey.
Hey, Cynthia.
What's up, Cynthia?
That's it. In the house. Here I am.
She said, you knew I was going to call in on that.
She stood down for a while.
Yeah.
Let's get this perfectly clear. NYCHA is a huge development. We are not all the same.
Yep.
We should not all be classified the same.
Absolutely.
What happens in one development is definitely not happening in the rest of us, because I fought too hard to get rid of the former person that had my position for doing exactly what you just said now. So I'm not in that category. I don't take money. I bust my ass 24/7 for my seniors every single day. It's a thankless job we have. I have fed my tenants for 4 months, pre-cooked, hot and cold meals twice a week. I don't give out boxes because they're old and half of them can't cook. I have a microwave in my community room. I heat their food up and I give it to them. So not all of us are the same. While some do take money, and please don't get me started on that, because the further up the chain you go, the higher they get paid. And at the top, you get an Uber car. But that's not me. Okay? So you should never judge all tenants the same. Because we all have agendas. And the majority of us are doing the best that we can to fight with management, to fight with 250 Broadway, to fight with everybody on the upper scale, from Greg Russ on down, to make sure our tenants get what they're supposed to get. When they tell us we don't have money for it, I fight tooth and nail. I call every newspaper, I call every media reporter I can get my hands on to get things done over here. I don't let anybody stop me.
That's why I said, did Cynthia say anything yet?
You knew it was coming.
Yeah,
Because I've been fighting too long
of course.
to get this position.
Yeah.
I had a TA president didn't hold meetings, and NYCHA wanted her to stay president because she didn't make any way.
Right. They like the
but
control.
But she's gone now.
Right. They like that control.
They love the control. The majority of the reason why you can't get NYCHA tenants to band together, unfortunately, is because 80% of them are either seniors, and they have been so preconditioned to the terrorist acts of the NYCHA executives for all their life, they're afraid to make waves.
Right. Yeah.
They're intimidated beyond where they feel if they ask for hot water, which they're entitled to, they're going to lose their apartment. So they'll sit there and not say nothing because they've already been preconditioned not to fight. And if you don't have them, then you have the new wave that comes in that doesn't care about anything except for where they're going to get their next blunt from.
Wow.
That's why we have such a hard trouble banding together.
Yeah, you're right. I was actually at Holmes and Isaacs, I'm in Isaac houses.
I know.
I was feeding residents, and it was happening for a while, and I still could probably get it here and there, but I did it for well over a month. And then once I started doing it, and the resident association president of Isaacs could have been doing it. She wasn't doing it. All of a sudden now you want to do it?
My residents couldn't get fed because, and my development is so big, there are 8 presidents. They have us broken down into 8.
Okay,
One specific one where all the drop-offs were designated decided that she was going to control all the food and not give it out to the rest of us.
Right.
So the rest of us, our seniors, were starving. So I had to go find outsources that were willing to give us food.
Exactly.
Douglas Houses, Carmen Quinones was the main one. She started splitting her food with me to feed my seniors.
Right. And shout out to
when no one else was willing to help. And Carmen came through and fed my residents every single week.
And shout out to Eddie Lewis, my district leader, male district leader. He was actually driving food down to me, sometimes 8 and 10 boxes.
Wow.
Every couple of days, and I was feeding. You've seen some of the pictures on social media. I'm feeding the residents.
We started off with shopping carts, pushing ourselves to Douglas. So bring the food back. Then somebody donated a hair truck. Then somebody offered their van.
Whatever it takes,
a thankless job in the heat. Whatever it took to transport food, I did.
Right, and then it's times
nobody got any money off of it. No money got greased in my hand.
Talk about it, and I'm not a resident association president. I'm just leading the community.
Exactly.
But I still, and there's times that he couldn't bring it down. I would go uptown in Harlem, pick it up, and jump in a cab. My fare.
I took plenty of Ubers down with my own money, with boxes of food in it to feed people.
So Cynthia, I have a quick question, right? I have a quick question. Your predecessor, what type of TA president was he or she?
Such as what? She was title only.
Okay. So
she had the title. She never even had a meeting for the residents. Never had a family day.
Wow.
Didn't do anything. People would go to her with complaints in their apartment. She wouldn't write a letter for them. She wouldn't talk to management for them. They were ringing my bell while she had the title.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. You'll have a lot of that. You'll have a lot of that it's title only and they're not doing anything.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what NYCHA likes.
Right.
They don't want anyone to make ripples.
Right. They don't want you to rock in the boat.
I make a wave. I don't rock it. I flip it over.
We go way back. I know you will.
Cynthia, is that the only way I can get you on the show? Is if I mildly offend you? Because I wasn't trying to offend you, but you didn't say anything the whole time.
She was quiet.
And then she popped and she's like,
I said, did she say anything? I knew that was something. I knew that was a little ankle bite, a little ankle hit the ankle.
You know you're welcome to come on at any time that you want to call. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I will.
You know,
If you want to come physically, we can work that out too.
yeah, you know, if you want to come on and do the
You heard
camera
me?
thing, that's
We
cool.
can work something out if you want to come sit in.
Yes, we can work it out. That's
Yeah.
fine. We'll work it out for the next time.
Yeah, I look, I keep my mask on, so the men do what they do. I have my mask on.
That's it.
Yeah,
Word
but we
up.
good, and yeah.
And I guess I just want to say all TA presidents are not bad. So I didn't want to make it seem that way. I was just critiquing and criticizing the
What
ones
you
we
know.
deal with
Right.
in Long Island City. But I know TA presidents in
And
Long
I
Island City
get that.
do great.
Believe me, I get that.
Right.
When there are times that NYCHA has president only meetings where we come in from every borough and I leave there with my head ringing because it is, you know, everywhere you go, good cops, bad cops,
Right.
good teachers, bad teachers, good presidents, bad
Right.
presidents.
Yeah.
You're going to find them no matter what
Right.
direction
Right.
you go into. But you have to learn how to maneuver around the bad one.
You right. And Cynthia,
And believe me, I've been ducking and swerving for years until I got this position. I didn't need the title to do the work. I
Right.
did the work
Thank
for
you.
3 years
Thank you.
before I had the title.
Talk about it. And you know, you also
I could care less about a title.
You also, when I had put that little post up, my little video about the PPE, the hand sanitizer, which
Yep.
was in my development. Listen to this, Rock, since April 30th, and the lady
I know.
didn't give it out till like June 2nd, June 3rd. How you sit on that?
That whole PPE
Yeah.
was a sham
Yeah.
because it was a deal worked out with one person and the governor. I'm going to put it like that. One person. And that one person volunteered all the presidents without taking into consideration that you have presidents of senior buildings that had no business being involved with all this PPE and giving it out and giving out masks when they should have been isolating at home. You had Senate presidents that died from the beginning of COVID,
Wow.
whose buildings still don't have PPE given out because it's sitting in a warehouse because the president passed away during COVID. But the person who decided to put us in charge of this didn't think that far ahead. Because that person was too busy making a handshake deal with the governor, kissing his behind again.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's when we got thrown into this thankless job of PPE and how to listen. The Army showed up at my building
I remember seeing photos.
with
Yes.
a truck.
Right.
You saw my photo.
Yeah, I did.
I had
Yeah.
people coming down the block
Was it the
trying
National
to get
Guard or the Army?
sanitizer.
Was it the
With
National?
No, it was the National Guard.
Right,
Sorry,
okay,
it was
okay.
the National Guard.
Okay.
They showed up in front of my house,
Right. Yeah. I remember.
unannounced.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me nothing. I don't
Crazy.
live in a project. I live in a brownstone. People came out of their apartments. It looked like something out of the Pied Piper of Hamilton. They came running down the block to get sanitizer and masks, and I'm standing out there hollering, "Go home, get away from me."
Wow. Yeah.
They were going to bring all of that into my apartment because nobody told them where the community rooms were. So they showed up at every president's front doorstep with all this stuff.
And then we got ours, but
And
it
then
didn't
we
come out
had
a
to
month
figure-
later. It's crazy.
Right.
She held
Got
it.
ours, but it took us a month to figure out how to safely give it out without people bombarding us. It had to be done strategically. I needed help. I'm in walk-ups, 36
Right.
buildings, all
Well, you had
walk-ups.
a whole different dynamic at your
Yeah.
But
No
with ours,
elevators, no nothing.
Right,
It's an
three
extremely-
buildings is no way. She
Right.
had
What's
it, she had it
how high are
done.
the stories? How many stories are we talking? The
Which
walk-ups?
Who?
Us.
You know,
Yours.
how
The
high?
36 buildings, they range between 4 and 5 stories.
Stories up. Okay, yeah.
But there's 36 buildings and they're scattered. They're not all on the same block. We are spread out from a 5-block radius.
How many buildings you have? All 36?
All 36 belong to me.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot of buildings.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a
A
lot,
lot of
walk-ups.
responsibility. A lot of responsibility.
and a lot of responsibility. That's
Thank you
heavy.
for your service. For real. No, I know you're here, but right, you know, you do what you do, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said,
I
you're
was
going
fortunate enough to have Goddard Riverside lend me their youth counselors
Nice.
who bravely walked up and down the stairs of all 36 buildings and personally knocked on doors and handed out the stuff while I stood downstairs hollering up to the people to let them in and take it from them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Because there's no way I could do that. But we worked together as a unit over here. And those kids, because Goddard was like, we didn't want to lay them off, but we didn't have much for them to do because there was no after school going on.
Right.
So they gave me their kids. I signed their timesheets and sent them out.
Awesome.
Cynthia, you get the button.
Yes.
Oh, you got to get that because you putting in work. You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that, you know, I love to hear good NYCHA stories.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause not all NYCHA's bad.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
There's good things that are happening, and I love when I hear like
No, we work hard for our residents. Some of us actually care. We're not in it for the one up the ladder or who's going to give me some money or who's going to endorse me.
Right.
If you want to help, you help. If you don't, I'm going to find someone who will.
One of the key things you said was you was doing this work before you was a resident association president, and that's what counts.
Right.
Before she got elected.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
The job didn't make you who you were. You was already that.
Right.
No.
There you go.
I was already that.
Yeah,
they were stopping me in the street going, this woman's not doing it. I'm like, I know. She live in my building. She ignorant. Okay, but it got a little, they were ringing my bell at 1 a.m, and I was like, okay, we got to put a lid on this.
Wow.
Right.
You know, sometimes it can be a thankless job, but when you see that you've gotten someone a new floor or you've gotten their collapsed ceiling fixed, then you know it wasn't thankless. It meant something to someone.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
We didn't have gas for a whole year over here. And everybody got mad at me because I asked all the elected officials to donate turkeys because people were paying for food for an entire year.
Wow.
And the gas came on the week before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So they donated so many turkeys. With the turkeys we had left over, we cooked them all up in my community room for all the seniors who were too old to cook.
Oh,
and we fed them. We fed everyone who wanted to come in that community room got a meal from us.
Wow. Yeah, see, that's
what it's about.
And those are the good stories, right? Yeah. And that's a good TA president, and that's an organization that is organized, you know, and mobilized, really. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's big. Damn, Cynthia, thank you.
Yep.
So, Cynthia, you going to call in next week?
Well, she's coming
through.
Cynthia, we should just have you. Why don't we just set up a time and, you know, we give you some time. You could become a guest right from your home. Just call in. We know a certain time you're going to call in.
Or you can just come.
Or you can come. Either or.
We're going to work that out.
Because she's already a guest she's already a guest from our home.
Right.
She's doing that now. You know what I'm saying?
And when you call, we're going to have your picture. We're going to put your picture up somehow, right? So you can take care of that. Yeah. When you speak.
I got you. Yeah.
We can definitely do that until you get here.
Yeah,
we'll get that. I'll get that.
I can put it right on screen.
That'd be good.
While she's talking.
No problem.
And then we'll get you come out. We'll ride out together one day.
No problem. I'll come out.
All right, Cynthia. We'll talk to you soon, Mama.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, wow. That's good. Two good guests.
Yeah.
Cynthia's always good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? SugaRay was powerful. Like, it was just wow. You know what I'm saying? It was just... You know, I was getting texts from ESP. She's like, let the young blood flow. Let them flow. I'm like, chill. I'm letting them flow.
Yeah.
But we also kind of running a show at the same time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of work. Let me see. What do you have going on here? Somebody hit you with something there. Make sure. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't hit that button.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
that don't even look correct.
Yeah.
All right. Like, maybe, you know, Zuma. ESP's like, Zoomer! Man, maybe we can do that. Let's see if we can get it together.
Yeah. Is that, can we do that? Can we actually have somebody, can we do this on Zoom? And
there was an issue with the Zoom, but I think that it's something I have to pay for.
Okay.
To allow Zoom to come into the system. That's basically what it is. So I've been working on it for weeks and then kind of figured out it's like, oh, duh, you got to pay a fee to get that extra feature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be able to do that. And then we can zoom in from the living room or something. But
that'd be great.
I mean, I like to meet her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she really sounds
She'll come one day.
really cool.
Extremely knowledgeable.
Yeah. She sounds really cool, you know. So I think that would be dope. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because we had an hour 28.
We went off.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to Brother SugaRay, man. Keep doing the work that you're doing. I hope that other young folks, follow his lead, because we need more young people, especially in NYCHA, to get involved and lead this fight for us. So big shout out to him, and I hope others are inspired in his age group to take on the role of leadership.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, man, he was dope.
And I want to shout out Rebecca Lamort. She's running for City Council District 5.
Okay.
When I call on her, she helps distribute food with me. She's also did some other work for somebody else because I couldn't do it. I had something else to do. But, she helped me with the voter registration and all of that, census work. We're like a team. And,
right.
If she's available, she's there. And I appreciate that because it's,
And we should invite her on the show.
Definitely.
We should do that. And just for you guys that are tuned in, obviously you can see this on Facebook Live, and it can be a replay. I replay it on my page on The Real Discussion with Rock Logic. I replay it on my MC Sticky page. Saundrea replays it on her page. Stan replays it. So, if you have people that haven't seen it, they can see the replay. Also, the One NYCHA broadcast is also available on iHeartRadio, iTunes, not iTunes Music, Apple Music, Tuned In, Spotify, and pretty much any place that you consume your podcast information.
And visit our page too. We have a
and
One
the page,
NYCHA
what is the
page.
what is the
One
page?
NYCHA. It's One NYCHA.
One NYCHA?
Yeah, visit our page. And the Holmes Isaac Coalition page too is running from there too.
Okay.
And then share it also. I mean, we would love it if you could share it on your pages and all that, just so we get the word out as much as possible.
So with that, I mean, we're at an hour 30. You
I'm good.
You want to call it? You want to call it?
I think we did a long show. I think we're good.
Yeah, wrap this up. Let's wrap it up.
You know what? We're going to wrap it up. I'm going to hit the beat. We will see y'all next week at 4:30.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
One NYCHA. And please spread the word, y'all. Spread the word, because this is your show.
Right.
This is your show. If if you want a complaint to be voiced, this is your show. You want to reach the activists that the activists in your communities are tuned into this show.
Right.
People that you don't even know are there. They're tuned into the show. Voice your opinion in the chat room.
Yeah.
Make the phone call.
Email us.
We're giving you a direct plug-in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all, let's just tell the truth, y'all don't come to the meetings.
Right.
Don't come to the meetings,
I
okay?
mean,
Y'all don't
it's
come
tough.
to the meetings. I'm just saying. So with that being said, you ain't got to come to the meetings. We'd like for you to come to the meetings, but here you can, anything that you want to complain about, you can complain about on this platform.
Right.
And there's way more resources on this platform that are paying attention to the show and listening to the show. You know what I'm saying? So with that, we will bid them an adieu.
I'm good.
We good.
All right, here you go. Here goes the beat, y'all.
Yeah.